the next Growing Patch Grub video. So in the last video we were looking at weighing ingredients correctly, and in this recipe we'll be using these skills to make some savoury muffins. The recipe is really easy and you can add things that your family like to make them even more delicious. So for this recipe we need the oven on at 200 degrees or 180 fan assisted, so I'll just make sure that's the right temperature so it heats up. The next thing we want is a bowl on our weighing scale so we can weigh out our dry ingredients. So we need 225 grams of self-raising flour. So I've made sure my scales are on 0, as we discussed in the last video, and I'm just weighing out 225 grams. So I'm going to pop that in a bigger bowl. Pop it back on the scales, make sure it's on 0, and now I need 50 grams of plain flour. So I'm going to put the 50 grams plain flour, and I'm going to pop that in as well. Now the next thing I need is baking powder. So I need my measuring spoons for these. So I'm going to take this out of the way. And I need baking powder, and I need 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to make sure I get the right spoon, and I'm going to pop it in, and then with the back of a knife I'm going to scrape off the excess so I get exactly the right amount, and I'm going to pop that in. Now I need half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. So, get my half teaspoon, pop that in. Now this is a bit trickier to do. So, I'm going to pop it in there, and I'm just going to scrape the excess off there and pop that in. Now I need 1/4 of a teaspoon, so make sure you get the right one again. So this is 1/4 of salt. So I'm going to do it over here just in case it all pours out too quickly. Now I don't need to measure, scrape it off with the back of a knife with this one. I'm just going to pop this in. There we go. Okay, then I need some mustard. So I need half a teaspoon of mustard. So get my half measure. Get the lid off. Pop it in, and because this is sort of a powder, I can scrape this off again. So carefully, I'm going to scrape that off and pop that in. And I'm going to give this a bit of a stir. Next we need to do the wet ingredients. So we need 6 tablespoons of oil, sunflower oil or vegetable oil. So I'm going to use my tablespoon here, hold it over the bowl, and do 6 of these. And I'm using a different bowl from the dry ingredients. Now I need 150 grams of yogurt, Greek yogurt, or yogurt, as I should say. So I'm going to get the bowl I've got the oil in, pop it on 0, and I'm going to spoon in 150 grams of Greek yogurt. There we go, so that's in there. Next I need 125 millilitres of milk. Now remember, for liquids, I'm going to use a jug. So I need 125. So I'm going to come down very low, so I'm at eye level, and I've got 125 there, and then I'm going to pour that into my bowl as well. I need 1 egg, so I'm going to break that in. And I need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So I'm gonna put that in as well. And then I'm gonna give it a really good mix. So this recipe says we need 100 grams of cheese grated and cubed. So half of it needs to be grated and half of it needs to be little cubes. So I'm just going to weigh my cheese, pop it on 0. So, oh, that's 100. And I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to grate half and chop half up. So I'm going to pop it into small cubes. So that's my cheese cubed. Now I need to grate my other half. So I'm watching my fingers. So that's my cheese grated. So I'm going to pop that in my mixture. And now you can add anything you like. You could put sun-dried tomatoes in it, you could put some bacon, some ham, some olives, some herbs. And today I'm going to put some parsley in. So you can just put probably another, say, if you were putting ham or sun-dried tomatoes, maybe about 50 grams. So I'm just going to put some parsley in mine, and I'm just going to put sort of a handful. So I'm going to chop that up very carefully so it's nice and fine, and then pop that in as well. So I've popped my parsley in, and I'm just going to mix all the wet ingredients together. And now I'm going to add my wet ingredients to my dry ingredients. Making sure I scrape it all out. Now, when you're making muffins, you need to make sure that you don't over mix your mixture. So you just lightly mix it in, and I'm using a fork for this. So you just literally combine it till you can't see any more of the flour mixture. The mixture's all mixed in, but not too much. And now I'm just going to line my muffin tin with some paper cases. Now this recipe should make 12. So I shall put 12 in there, and now I'm going to spoon some of the mixture into each case. Not completely filling them, but just say 3/4 of the way up. And you do that until you've completed the whole cupcake cases. So if you've got some spare cheese left, or some of the ingredients you put in, you could maybe sprinkle some on the top. So I'm just going to just grate a little bit more cheese and then sprinkle it on the top of my muffins. So there are my muffins. I've popped some cheese on the top, so they're ready to go in the oven. So I'm going to pop them on the middle shelf. And get some parent or helper to help you do that. And I'm going to cook those for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to put my timer on, and then we'll come back when the timer goes off. So my timer's going off. So I've got some oven gloves, and I'm going to take them out of the oven. Make sure you get an adult to help you do this, because your tin is going to be very hot. So they are looking great. So I'm just going to gently tap them so the cheese has gone nice and hard on the top, but they're still squidgy. So I'm going to let those cool down, and then we'll taste one. So they've all cooled down, so I'm going to keep these probably in an airtight container, but I'm going to try one for my morning snack. So have a go and let me know how you get on. See you next time. Bye.